Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day The Last Resort Season 3 Episode 7, The Last Noble Truth. So let's just get on into it. Before we begin, I just want to say and give out a big thanks to everybody who came out and watched the video of me with 90 Day Fiance Honestly with Amy and B. We had a great time, great conversation. Thank you so much to my subscribers, family, and friends who whenever there and supported me with them and everything. It was a great time. We will be trying to do other collaborations again soon. But I just want to thank you guys for all you guys' love and support for that. So now, getting into The Last Resort now. So this episode picks up, we're still basically in the wilderness therapy, and we're going to be there for a while. We're going to be out here for a while, actually. All the couples are still trying to find their spot and lead back to like the campground where they're gonna have camp and everything. Russ and Powell and Kara and Guillermo. It starts out with Russ and Powell arguing because apparently Russ is not doing his homework after the sex therapy that they had, and Powell is irritated. She was just like, I gave everything Russ wanted the day before, and he has given me nothing. Like, what are we doing here, basically? And she feels kind of like Russ ain't really taking it seriously and everything. But you know what though? But I understand how Russ probably feels because I remember a couple weeks ago when they were intimate, he likes to call it making love, and she just likes to call it sex, basically. And there is a difference, but Powell don't really see it that way. So I think with just all the emasculating that she's doing to him, he's just like same thing. Nothing he can do is right. If he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. I mean, that's just my opinion with that. Now, between the sheets, like, Karen, because they were paired up with Karen and Guillermo. Russ said that Karen and Guillermo were talking a lot about sex during that hike and stuff, but obviously they ain't doing nothing. And he just really wanted to tell him to shut up. If you guys ain't being intimate, don't be talking, giving us any kind of input about it and stuff, basically. So that was that. So anyway, moving on. Jenny and Sumet and Sarper and Shekinah, they actually were successful out of this hike. They got along. They had the peanut butter and bread sandwich or whatever. And Shekinah had mentioned plenty times. I was kind of tired of hearing this because I get it now. She mentioned this many times that she went to boarding school growing up. She was in survival boarding school. She knows all the basic ins and outs and everything, and she led everybody to where they had to be. Shekinah said that she grew up Amish. Now, her family wasn't Amish, but they lived the Amish lifestyle, meaning there's no running water, no electricity, no television, no pop culture and everything. And so she lived a very conservative life, had to wear long dresses and dress conservative all the time until she was about like 16. She said when she was like 16, 17, 18, she started to become rebellious and wanted to get out of that lifestyle. On Between the Sheets, she had mentioned that everybody was talking about this celebrity guy by the name some guy named Michael Jackson that they had crushes on, and other people that I didn't know about. I'm like, oh wow, she didn't know who Michael Jackson was in the beginning and stuff. So yeah, everybody was surprised that because they all said that Shekinah did not seem like the person who would know how to like survive out in the wilderness, basically. But I had to give it to her. She knew her stuff. Also, in Between the Sheets, there was like a moment with her and Sarper, because her and Sarper had like a moment where like Shekinah feels like she wants to be like emotionally basically emotionally hurt and everything. And like Sarper didn't really understood what that meant, so he had like his AI explain to him, because he was just like, I'm tired of hearing this, but I also don't really know what it means. So she kind of just really wants to be heard more with him, and they had like a nice little get along moment where he was actually understanding her. She kind of said that, but Sarper always does that when they're on camera, but he doesn't do it when it's off camera. So that's also another root of their problems, basically. Now, on the other end, we have Patrick and Thais, and Rebecca and Ziad. Patrick and Thais is still a little sick and everything. They had a conversation about her possibly being pregnant and stuff, and they're just like, if she's pregnant, we cannot have a baby right now if we're thinking about getting a divorce and stuff. So, and for the moment, Rebecca and Zia at that moment were getting along for a while, but we'll come back to Rebecca and Zia a little bit later. So meanwhile, so everybody does their hike. Sarper and Shekinah and Jenny and Submit finished their hike first. They got everything they needed and started pitching their tent. They pitched their tent and everything. Had a little hiccups getting it going and everything, but they got it and stuff. Jenny said that she used to like do all these hikes and stuff when she was younger, when she was a girl. But Jenny and Submit, Sarper and Shekinah finished first, and then Patrick and Thais and Rebecca and Zia were second, and everybody met at the campground, but campground, but we're still waiting on Kara and Guillermo and Russ and Powell, and they were last to show up. Everybody's wondering, like, are we gonna be like waiting for Russ and Powell, Kara and Guillermo? Where are they? And then ultimately they showed up to the fire pit so they can meet up with the rest of the cast. So everybody's tents are all next to each other. You know, Patrick and Thais were just like, do we have to really be next to Sarper and Shekinah? But there's still a little info on that, and I'll talk more about that here in a sec too. So everybody gets back to the fire pit, and we're meeting up with Dr. Tyrone to discuss how the hike went. For the most part, everybody communicated pretty well on that hike. Like I said, there was little hiccups here and there and everything, but for the most part, everybody got through the hike pretty well. So now we're going to talk with individual couples. The first couple that they talked to is Jenny and Submit. Jenny and Submit. So, as we all know their storyline right now, Jenny cannot stand living with his parents, and then we know what's going on in modern time where she's battling ALS. And it's still breaking my heart that she's going through this, because just every time she speaks, it's just sad. I miss like the more lively Jenny when she would yell at Submit and throw stuff. I'm starting to miss that. I miss that Jenny, even though it's wrong. I miss that Jenny, because like she back in the day, Jenny would have been able to handle all this and stuff. She can't handle this now, so she's wondering why. Basically, why are they still living with the parents? And when Jenny and Submit moved back in with the parents, the parents were paying the rent because Submit lost his job, and he can't keep a job, and then of course the family cafe failed, which no surprise, because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean with Submit, but I just don't know. I don't think he really knows exactly at times what he's doing, because he always puts himself in like really bad situations financially for himself, which I'm about to mention more in a second. So all of a sudden, Submit says that his parents had stopped paying rent. So the other couples ask, well, how are you guys surviving? So Submit decides to take out some loans, and of course he didn't tell Jenny. And he took out about $20,000 in loans and did not tell Jenny. Like, bro. Bro. Now Jenny is furious Jenny is furious, and I would be too. Like that's a lot. That is a lot, and I'm starting to think that Submit is just doing all this stuff on purpose. He is doing everything he can to not move away from his parents, or his parents not move away from him. He's doing I said this to somebody last week. Whatever Submit is doing, he's doing it on purpose. He's not thinking nothing of Jenny in the situation. And I mean, I hope in modern time that he is, like, considering that his wife is battling a terminal illness right now. Now, judging by social media, he probably is and stuff. But just by what we see on TV, he doing this on purpose. So now Jenny and Submit start arguing with each other about it, and he keeps on saying, "Oh, Jenny will not understand, won't understand." And I think like Patrick and Powell has said, like, you have to put your culture to the side, and that you got to think of your wife and your parents that lived their life and raised you. Now you got to do the same. You got to do the same for yourself now, and everything. And you got to laugh, and Smith's just like, "Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand." And Jenny was like, "What don't understand?" And then Jenny was like, "You yelling at me." And Smith was like, "You started it first." And Jenny is just like, the point is that we don't have to be around the parents all the time. And Submit just still not understanding it. So Jenny was just like, "You know what? I'm done with this. It's been a long day. I'm too old. I'm sick. I'm tired. We're going to be sleeping in the tent. I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody." So Jenny goes off to bed. Everybody says bye to Jenny. And it was sad. They get in the tent, and she told Submit, "You're being a real a-hole today." And Submit was just like, "Oh, yeah, I've been one since I got here. It's always me. I'm always the problem, right?" With Jenny and Submit, their issues are real, but it's hard for me to take their arguments at this point so seriously, because obviously they got bigger problems that they're worried about right now and stuff and everything. But we all know, like, Jenny's really not going to leave Submit. Even if Jenny wasn't battling this illness, she wasn't going to leave Submit. She always says that she's leaving. She always says that she's leaving, and she never does. So I wonder. I'm starting to wonder what real safe ground that Submit offers Jenny that keeps her staying, because she's been threatening to leave for years, especially when it came to the parents. Submit always feels like, "Oh, well, the parents finally accept you, so we should stay now." Okay, that's great, but that don't mean nothing. I do want to have a good relationship with your parents, but that don't mean we gotta live with them. Just saying. Anyway, so Jenny and Submit go off the bed. The next couple they talked to was Patrick and Thais. And Patrick still has, for the last few episodes, them as a couple, they've been okay. They're not screaming at each other. Obviously Thais had some drama and stuff and everything. Patrick throwing his 2 cents in a lot of things. But as a couple, ever since the first episode, they've been quiet. But now they're starting to talk more about what happened on her recent trip to Brazil. Her recent trip to Brazil, obviously, remember that he's got that back liposuction in her back and stuff, and on between the sheets, Patrick said that she lied about that. She said he asked about the purchase. She said it was for a rental car when it was really for the surgery. And here's an interesting take. Now, you guys remember Patrick's brother John, right? John actually just had a baby with his girl Megan, by the way, on 90 Day Diaries. Remember when we first met Patrick and Thais and John? John was always like up in the business, living with them, being drunk, irritating both of them and stuff and everything. And Patrick will always take John's side. Well, and then remember on season 8 of Happily Ever After, when Patrick and Thais went to Brazil to meet up with Thais' father, and John came along. John and Thais' father got along great. Now, it was revealed in this episode that that Patrick and John had a conversation that wasn't aired, And John had said that he talks to Carlos, like his father, all the time, that they're becoming good friends. And he told him that there's more to her dishonesty, basically, and stuff. And Patrick felt like, this is weird. This is just weird because why is my brother getting information from her dad saying that she's being dishonest? Something's not really adding up about that. And everybody else was kind of like questioning about, like, okay, well, where's the proof in this? Because John said on the call that he's not gonna, you guys in therapy, I'm not gonna tell you, and stuff. Now, Thais, as we all know, can't stand John. she cannot stand John. She never could stand John from the beginning. Patrick had said on Between the Sheets that, for a while John was causing drama, and then I guess he like reposted something back on that tell-all of the season 8 of Happily Ever After. Remember when Thais and Sophie got into it and called out Lauren and stuff, which I thought was wrong and stuff. I guess like John like retweeted something about that, like taking Lauren's side, and Patrick had called John saying like, "What the heck?" Or like, "Why are you starting drama with my wife online?" Like, what the? And he's like, "It's not like that. It's not like that. This is something else," and stuff. So Patrick is caught between a rock and a hard place because he don't really know what to believe. He don't know to believe John or Thais and stuff. Thais says she didn't do nothing wrong. She's just hanging out with family and friends and stuff. So now we have a brilliant idea that we are going to bring John out to the castle for a little group family therapy. Yay! This is this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Now, in the still to come preview, there's going to be showing that, and John's going to call out Thais on her lies, and she's going to scream on him saying, "Let me talk," and then storm out. So. So I don't know, this is gonna, I really want to know like who's right in this. Now again, we all know what's happening in modern time. Patrick and Thais are battling, going through a divorce and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that was Patrick and Thais. Now we get to the couple that just really, well, there's only one, not as a couple, but only one person that makes me just as sick as Shekinah and Sarper do. Rebecca and Zied. It starts out with Rebecca and Zied saying, "Oh yeah, we have gotten along because the sex therapy helped." However, they go back to their rooted issues, and Rebecca just loses it. I am so tired of Rebecca popping off and screaming like an angry woman every episode. It is sickening. It's disgusting. She's acting. I'm sorry. She's acting just like Angela. She's acting just like Angela. I'm sorry. And we yes, Rebecca can't stand Angela because she always got beat up by Angela at that tell-all, but she's just like her. I'm sorry, Rebecca is just like Angela. Because Dr. Tyrone had asked, like, okay, like, what more do you want from Rebecca? Now, Zia's made a comment saying that he wants Rebecca to be like more of a real wife, basically. And when he said more of a real wife, that's when she lost it. She's like, "How am I not a real wife? What are you talking about?" and everything. Shekinah jumps in. Now, I'll give Shekinah this. Like, she did make a good point. She said, like, "Hey, listen, like you're pretty mean to him. You're yelling at him. Like, let him speak and everything." And so Zia tries to explain herself, but Rebecca is constantly interrupting. And Shekinah was just like, "Girl, like, can you please let him speak? I want to hear his side of the story." And then Rebecca snaps at Shekinah. She's like, "Oh my God, Shekinah, can you let us work on our marriage? Please leave us the F alone," and everything. And Shekinah is like, "Can you work on your marriage? Can you? And she's like, "Oh my God, shut the F up," and stuff. So she goes back yelling at Zied. "How are you going to say I'm not a real wife? I do this, and that for you. I cook, I clean, and everything, and all that." And Zied says that, like, you work like 16 hours a day. You don't have much time for me. Like, this is why we did good on wilderness therapy, because like we spend time together. You're always working and stuff. This is all I have right now. This isn't. and this and that. This is all I got right now. If you want me to hand them weight on you, hand them foot, I will quit my job. I'll do this, and that, and everything. You cannot say that I'm not a real wife. And everything. So Dr. Tyrone was like, okay, everybody, let's just take a breather for right now. So everybody else goes their separate ways, and Dr. Tyrone goes up to Rebecca and says, Rebecca, you know, Zia is trying to like express himself with his vocabulary and stuff. And she's like, I get it, but how can you tell me that I'm not a real wife? And then he comes up and then he's trying to come up and defend himself, and Rebecca turns it back on him. You're not a real husband. You know, in the Arabic culture, you're supposed to be working. I'm supposed to be staying home. I don't hold you to that standard. This, and that, and everything. You cannot say I'm a real wife. He was just like, let me talk. Let me talk. See, this is why I took a long ride to Virginia. I'm just like, you know what, Ziad, I see your point. Now, when Ziad said that he wants Rebecca to be a real wife, I knew what he meant. He meant that, you know, she just wants more. They want more quality time. They want more compassion, want a little bit more love and less arguing and stuff. You know. Now he did say he wanted her to cook and clean more, and you know that's gonna irritate any kind of any woman who gets demand from a guy that says, I want you to cook and clean for me. Yeah, that ain't happening. Cook and clean for yourself, you know, or take turns. Like, you know, always clean. Everybody should be cleaning no matter what. But in terms of cooking, you know, make it mutual at least. So I'll give Rebecca that one. But I knew what Zia said when he wanted her to be like a real wife. Now his wording, you know, Zia has a language barrier, so I'm giving him some grace on that. But so it was just his wording that set Rebecca off, and everybody else just like, man, Rebecca, chill. It's not that serious. She just went off like crazy. Now, on Between the Sheets, Rebecca revealed something kind of weird. She said that like she's been through stuff like this before in her previous marriage, with her kid's dad and everything, and she said that there was one day that she went to go pick up her daughter from school, and she had like some kind of hood on and stuff and everything. And because like Rebecca, she said she used to be a chef and she used to travel a lot, and so she wasn't really that home that much. So like Rebecca is basically known to have like jobs that make you travel and not be home so much, and of course being a PI. And then now her current job where she's working 16 hours. She went to the school and picked up her daughter and stuff. And I guess her daughter told the school that her mom was dead, basically. And at that point, Rebecca was like, I'm quitting this job. Why is my daughter saying I'm dead and stuff? And so that was pretty wild. So like, was Rebecca really not there for her kids growing up that much because she works so much? That kind of opens, so maybe, and so when she said that, I'm starting to figure out why she's so angry, basically, because she's, I think when you hear those like really traumatic things by saying, oh, like, I think my mom is dead when she comes to pick you up at the school. So I'm starting to, now I see why she pops off easily. It's like, how could you say that? Every little thing, like, oh, I'm not a real wife. How could you say I'm not a real wife? And everything. Now I get it. But still, you know, that had nothing to do with Ziad. That had nothing to do with Ziad. So I'm sorry. Rebecca is just so, she's so nasty. Ugh, she really makes me sick and stuff. So I actually, for once, just on this episode, took Shekinah's side. But that's it, because you guys know I'm done with Shekinah, and you know, I'm even more done with Shekinah now. I tried to see more of her perspective last week when I said I'm not anti-Shekinah, but now I am. Because she posted on her social media that she's doing cameos and getting shirts that say "Go back to your country" because people are requesting that and wanting that and stuff and everything. And she posted how much she made on Cameo by that. That is not funny. That's not funny. And on Between the Sheets, this is what she gets too. On Between the Sheets, as I say, she grew up Amish and everything, but she also said that she also went to a wilderness boarding school, and she got expelled from wilderness boarding school because she had a boyfriend and they were caught sending love notes. And the principal called them saying, "Y'all keep doing this, we're going to expel you." And they kept doing it, and she got expelled. So she thinks all of this stuff is funny. It's not. She went on social media trying to defend her and defend what she says, and, "Oh, I didn't mean it, this, and that." But now you're doing cameos and getting shirts that say "Go back to your country" and stuff. That is not funny. It's not. It's not, especially in today's world right now. Like we have a lot of stuff going on, and that's just going to trigger a lot of people, like who are for that and against that, like for different reasons. It's just going to trigger a lot of people. And I don't promote stuff like that. I'm sorry. Like I don't. Those things are It is risky. You're putting yourself in a really dangerous place by doing that. It's not funny. It's not funny, Shekinah. It's not. Just makes me sick. Just makes me sick. Yeah. Anyway, but that was basically it. We'll see more of Sarper and Shekinah's therapy session. I guess next week they're going to be going to Abe selling and work together. I guess Sarper's going to be helping Thais next week, and Shekinah's going to get so mad, and I'm going to be here for it. I can't wait to see Sarper help Thais. Like when they go Abe selling next week, Shekinah get mad for that. That's going to be great. That is going to be the ultimate revenge, in my opinion, for this whole situation. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is the end of my review. Before I say goodbye, again, thank you guys so much for you guys' love and support. To all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I hope you guys enjoy my content. I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world. I'm so small. Been doing this for a few years now, trying so hard to grow more, but I appreciate every little bit I can get. I really appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoy my content. Again, please be respectful in the comment section. We can discuss the episode. You feel free to disagree with me, but please be respectful and stuff and everything. But again, I appreciate you guys' love and support. I'll be back on tomorrow to do little singles, and then later this week to do more Married at First Sight. So it's a marathon week for a while, so we're here for it. But if we're gonna grow the channel, this is what we do. And I enjoy doing these recaps for you guys. And I appreciate all the viewers listening, even the ones who are not subscribed. I appreciate you guys viewing my videos. And again, I hope you guys enjoy my content. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see y'all again tomorrow for Little Singles. Love you guys. Bye.